Yeah, the Blue Jays. I don't know, it was black. Black top, black bottom, black everything.
And it is called a merlin. And merlins are these little falcons. They eat other birds and small mammals, so they might go after squirrels and mice. They are tough. Merlins are feisty, tough little birds. For as small as they are, boy, they'll take on bigger birds. I have seen a merlin eating a pigeon. So if you think about how big a pigeon is, for this little bird to hit and kill a pigeon is a pretty good accomplishment. Now, they can't catch a pigeon and then fly home with it. They have to eat it where it falls. So merlins, like I said, are members of the falcon family. They have very, very long pointy wings. They have very stiff wing beats. They are built for speed. This pointy wing is extremely fast in the air. And we'll see merlins migrating past the Hawk Ridge today. And boy, they fly like they're late for dinner. They are just through here in no time flat. Oftentimes by the time you hear that there's a merlin, instead of looking out here, you need to be looking here because they're moving so fast in front of the ridge. So, as members of the falcon family, merlins are a great example of a couple of falcon adaptations. One is that they have a jagged edge to their beak. And I don't know if I can get him to open his beak without biting me, because I don't want him to bite me. But this jagged edge on the side of their beak is called their tomial tooth. And the tomial tooth is used to dislocate the necks of their prey. And so a lot of other birds kill with their talons. So they catch their prey and then they do a talon massage. Falcons hit their prey, they stun it, and then when they grab it, they bite the neck and twist. And that's why I don't want them to bite me, because they bite and twist, and that twisting is instinctive. So if they get a hold of me, they bite and twist too, and that sharp little tooth on the side of their beak it's scalpel sharp. Another cool thing about falcons is if you look at the nostril, can you see its breathing holes on the top of its beak? Do you see how there's a spike inside there? So these birds can fly fast enough at times so that if they're going so fast, the air might flow over their nostril, and that little spike inside there deflects air down inside their nostril so that they can breathe while they're flying. Can you see that? And that jagged edge on the beak? This little guy is a killing machine. They are just perfectly designed for catching prey.
How do they twist their heads?
Isn't he pretty? But I can move my eyeballs to see behind me. Birds' eyes are fixed in their head. They don't have the muscles for moving their eyeballs around in their head. So instead of having those muscles, they have extra neck bones that gives them a lot more flexibility. So not only can he turn his head backwards, but he could look up and over. And you know, if you think about chasing a songbird through the woods, you pretty much have to keep your eyes locked on them, right? And if you're flying through stuff like this, you could bang your wings. So you want to be able to turn your body and shoot through that little hole in there. And that's how birds are designed, so that as they're chasing their prey, they can turn their bodies and hold their heads pretty still. Merlins are pretty cool little birds.
There we go, much better. Okay, now you can look this way though. There we go. There's the Cooper's head. You can see there's quite a bit more to the head structure in a Cooper's hawk than there is in a sharpshin. I'm not going to guarantee you I'm an expert in telling them in flight, but you should look for that. If you've got a bigger, what looks like a bigger sharpshin, look for a bigger head. If you see a bigger head and a roundish tail, then you probably have a Cooper's.
Here, I can show.
Oh, look at that.
There.
Okay.
And now this is a male.
Yeah,
Look at the
Shazam. They do have a Merlin. She's got the power. Yeah, so here you go. Here's a little comparison. That's a little male, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Is
so
that a
this
Cooper's
is a
hawk?
female.
Is the little one a Cooper's hawk?
The little one is a sharp-shinned hawk. So we're just
sharp-shinned male.
comparing their size and shapes.
Yep.
And a male Cooper's hawk and a female sharp-shinned hawk could be really close in the same size, like a
Yeah.
big female Sharpie and a smallish Cooper's hawk. They could be really close to the same size. So this is really kind of an extreme comparison between
Right.
a female and a male. So you go ahead. I'll just
Okay.
stand here and.
Well, these are the birds that you're
Put me
most
down.
likely to see hanging and raiding feeders. These are the infamous feeder. Up one step up in the food chain. You got the bird feeder going here. You're also attracting the bigger ones that are going to take the little ones. It's how it works in the natural world. These birds typically don't live around here. These are coming in as they're migrating through. We are probably getting these either from the east or the west, but not from right around here. You do have them quite frequently around the Twin Cities and further south, but you're not going to see them quite as frequently up here. Let's take a look. These are still accipiters. So they still have comparatively shortish, rounded wings. Not anywhere near as big and long and wide as you'll see on a buteo. So tail is starting right about here where my thumb is and going all the way down. So it's much bigger than the body of this bird. You can see that's huge. We can tell this is the hatchier bird. Go ahead. The audience should probably be able to tell me. Anybody? Yellow eye. Yeah, the question was, how do I know this is a hatchier bird? Yellow eye,
It's
vertical
not.
brown striping.
Yep, it's streaky and brown instead of having rusty barring and gray.
Excellent. All right. How about the color of the back?
It's
That's got the
brown
browns.
with lighter brown streaks on it instead of bars on it instead of being evenly gray.
Excellent. Well done. Make like the Statue of Liberty. All right, and on three. 1, 2, 3.
They're just biters because their beak is the sharpest of all of the falcons that we see here. So this is a female, and we can tell by her pretty brown wings and her solidly banded, rusty colored tail. Yeah. Here, show us your wings. Yeah.
Doesn't that hurt?
Yes, it does. You're welcome. Taking one for the team. There you go. There you go. So the male falcons have a rusty red back and beautiful blue wings with black tips. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to stop doing this. There you go. You miss. It's not so bad with all the other birds, but man, their little tip of their beak is so sharp. Oh, look at, she likes you. She's not biting you. Must be meant to be.
I don't taste so good.
There we go. On three. 1, 2, 3.
There it goes. There it goes. Oh, off she goes. Okay, let's make room for these cars now. A solid brown body, a cinnamon colored breast, facial discs, which is unusual for a diurnal raptor. And then this is going to be the most diagnostic thing that we'll see is this really, really white rump patch. Right there, and that is totally visible when they're flying, even though it's on the top. So it is a
Harrier.
Northern Harrier. Very good. What a smart audience we have. Okay. So, and this is a juvenile. This is this year's youngster.
Female?
I think this one's a male. The females tend to have a darker eye, although the size of it makes me feel like it might be a female. I don't like that wind pulling on the wings. So harriers have long, skinny wings and a long, skinny tail. They are incredibly small in the hand, incredibly big in the air. This bird, I get him in my hands and I just can't think about anything other than how tiny and petite they feel in the hand. Because look at the size of that wing. These are also the birds that many of you may know as marsh hawks. So they like grasslands, they like swamps, they find their prey by hearing it. So that's the purpose of those facial discs. They work just like an owl. They fly just over the contour of the land. So you'll see them follow exactly the contour of the land at just the perfect height for them to hear their prey. And those facial discs work just like an owl's. They're designed to funnel sound into the inner ear of the bird. Turn your head that way. There you go.
Have you caught any red-tailed hawks today?
Not yet. Not yet.
I love those birds.
I love red-tailed hawks too. Yeah. One of the cool things about having this bird in the hand, those of you up front might be able to see, is all of these tiny little hair-like feathers around its beak and eyes.
Yeah.
Right along here.
Oh.
You see that? Those are feathers. They look like hairs, but they're actually individual feathers. And those are sensory. When something brushes them, it closes an eyelid that protects its eye. Yeah, that's nothing compared to that kestrel. You can bite me anytime, little harrier. Yeah, and so when we have them up close like this too, and they're sticking that tongue out, that gives us the opportunity to see their breathing hole inside their tongue as well. Their trachea comes out inside their tongue. Stick your tongue out.
What's that about their breathing?
They have a hole in their tongue that is their breathing apparatus. It's kind of in the back of their tongue.
They live in marshes.
You don't have to fling her hard, but give her a nice push up into the air. I'm going to get out of your field of view.
All right, let's go for it. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now watch those wing flaps. Watch how bouncy they look. How it looks like he's bouncing a basketball. Downward push.
No shot
A quick light upward stroke.